Hi everyone, this is Noah Sandler from Mtgo Academy, and today we're going to be doing an Eldritch Moon 8-4 single elimination draft. So let's jump into queue. Okay, so pretty weak first pack. There are a couple of red cards, Fury Blade Vampire, Brazen Wolves, and there's also an Ulvenwald Captive that is the best card in the pack. There's Eldritch Evolution, which I'm not a big fan of, though there are some decks where it could be good. If you have some really nice bombs that you can search out with it, it can be worth it. But I think it takes a lot of work to make it good, and even then, it's sort of a 1 for 2. You're sacrificing a creature and the evolution to get a bigger creature in play. It's sort of like playing a merge card, but yeah, not a big fan of it. So passing 2 red cards. I usually like to cut red if I'm going to go into it in this format, so I might be a little less likely to move into red. That said, this pack, other than a Midnight Scavengers, there's just 2 good red cards and nothing else really. So, I mean, Scavengers feel like is definitely below Occultists and Brazen Wolves. Given that we have a green card right now, I think Brazen Wolves is probably better than Occultist. If we were red-black, being able to take advantage of the madness would have been more important, but Brazen Wolves is a wolf, so you get to do all the Wolf Matters cards. So I'll take that here. If Scavengers was a little bit more powerful, I might take it and just keep shipping red, but I think it's a little too weak for this pack. Ulvenwald Captive, easy, best card in the pack. Also, Rise from the Grave, the Horde Swarm, not much else. Haunted Dead and Boon of Emrakul. Alchemist Greeting. Yeah, I'm going to take Haunted Dead. I think the card is really, really strong. So I like it better than Boon. And I don't mind passing some more red. Also, Midnight Scavengers. I mean, black's completely open. Though we are passing a good amount of black, it's not a very strong color overall, so you don't really want to fight for it. But Haunted Dead is just too good to pass up here. Well, red still seems to be coming through. So there's Brazen Wolves, Vildan Peck Outcast, and a Grapple if we wanted to just stick to green-black. But this looks like pretty good red. So between Outcasts and Brazen Wolves, I usually like the Wolves better. Given that we have 2 Ulvenwald Captives, it becomes pretty close. Because we've got the ramp to get Outcast out early. And 3-drops become less important if you have good 2s. So actually, I'm going to take Outcast here. I've never actually made this pick before. I always like Brazen Wolves better, but given we have 2 captives, I think Outcast is going to perform better. Outcast also works well with Waxing Moon, and our deck seems to play well with like big power Trampler, Uncaged Fury type stuff. And a good sign here, Tangle Claw Werewolf. Another great card to use with Waxing Moon. And other than that, Spontaneous Mutation, Cultist Staff, Supplicant. So green's very open, red's very open, and we saw at least one pack that looked like black was very open, and we're not really seeing much blue or white. So we're definitely in the right spot. Having 5 wolves in the first 5 picks means we can really take advantage of Werewolf Matters cards later on. Let's take a Falconwrath Reaver here, in case we end up being extra 2s. I think Cultist Staff is pretty weak in Werewolf decks, because you've got so many mana sinks anyway. Your creatures are already pretty large. Staff is best on evasive creatures, or expendable creatures, like tokens, or just random bears. But if your creatures, you just pay 7 mana and make them huge, you don't really have time to put the staff out. So we'll take the Reaver. Well, there's a Waxing Moon. Probably already playing that, given 4 really good flip werewolves. I guess if we get no more for the rest of the draft, I might not play it. But this is a really good start for Waxing Moon. And second Waxing Moon versus Woodland Patrol. I think I'm going to take the second Waxing Moon. Not a big fan of playing these in multiples, though. because it is pretty. It's still like it's powerful with all these effects, with all these big werewolves that flip for 7, but it's still kind of situational. Like you don't want to draw 2 in the early game, and it's a dead draw late game. Um, I guess I'll take the second, just in case we end up just like 10 werewolves that flip. It would be worth running. Here, I could hate, but could also just pass the recruitment, try to push someone else into black. I suppose if black is open pack 2, we might move back into black green, so I'll take recruitment. Wow, that's super late scavengers. Although that was the pack that had all the really good black cards in it. So we'll see. Could still definitely move into black. We did pass a lot of red in the first pack, but we also passed a lot of black. So it'll be interesting. Given the werewolf synergy, we definitely do want to be red-green and just take more werewolves. But if red gets cut this pack, it wasn't very open. Like it was marginally open in the first pack. So I could see moving into green-black. So here there's Somber World Stag, Villain Pack Outcast, and Deranged Whelp. I think we're just going to take this Stag. Given Waxing Moons and a bunch of synergy, Outcast could almost compete for Stag, but it's Stag's removal. We don't have any right now, so and we also might not be red, so Stag's the pick. And another Stag versus Outcast. Just take another Stag. Yep. Let's move the black out for now. And here we have a Hamlet Captain versus a Villain Pack Outcast. So this would be our 4th, 5th drop, which is a lot. On the other hand, the Captain is not that exciting. Probably not going to run that many humans in it this deck. Even if we do, getting +1/+1 to another creature maybe once, and then they'll just trade with the Captain. It's not a really high impact card. So I think I'm going to take the Outcast. We do have 2 captives for ramp, so we can probably play 4 5s, and these are all very good 5 drops. Though I usually don't like to end up with this many 5s this early in the draft, because it means that on future picks, I'm going to have to take weaker 2s and 3s over more powerful 5s, since I already have a bunch of 5s. But Outcast is still really strong here. Another captive. Emerald's Evangel is nice, but captive is just insane. If we do run double Waxing Moon, it's going to be really, really good. And then just to excel us into these 5s. So green was pretty open in the first pack, but what was great about that is that it wasn't like overflowing. So we weren't taking captives over prey-upons and then putting the person next to us into green. We were really taking the only card out of the pack every single time. And here we have a Ruthless Disposal, Blood Mist. Blood Mist, very good card. Definitely underrated a bit at first, until I started losing to the card over and over again. And yeah, it's very, very powerful in a werewolf deck. You've got a lot of high power creatures, Brazen Wolves. The Outcast is just good game. So we're going to slam that here. Thermo Alchemist, Bloodbriar. I think I'll take Alchemist. Not going to be self-sacrificing that much. And Alchemist is fine. Blocks early, get some damage in. It's not the ideal deck for it, but I think it's still reasonable. Ton of white coming through. Can probably hate here. Restraints or Lone Rider. They're both about as good, depending on if the person can flip the Lone Rider. I think I'll take Restraints. Just is going to be better in more decks. Okay, we have a Grapple. Take that over Make Mischief. Could definitely play the Grapple, though we don't have any synergy with it, so probably won't. Just like a Raised Dead with a little bit extra value that if you have a good creature in the top 3 cards, then you get a little more selection than just getting creatures from your own graveyard. It is pretty nice with Summerworld Stag, though, so might try to fit it in. Take a Swift Spinner. It's an okay sideboard card against the blue-white flyer decks. I'm never going to play 3 Waxing Moons. I'll just hate a Borrowed Grace. Even if I ended up with a bunch of werewolves in the last pack, I just don't want 3 Waxing Moons. It's just, like, you gotta minimize the number of potentially dead cards that you play in your deck. Because otherwise you're going to have hands where you just have two Waxing Moons and a random 2/2, and you just lose. So even though its upside is pretty nice in a deck like this, you still want to minimize the number of cards like that. You want to just have very few of them. Hate a Slayer. Actually, I should have taken the Spring. It's an artifact or enchantment card. It's not very good at what it does, but if you are facing the Always Watching, Choking Restraints deck, you are going to want it, and that's more important than hating there. Okay, Drolf's Masterpiece, Westfall Abbey, Rabid Bite, Ulrich's Kindred. This pack is pretty nice. Masterpiece is very, very good. Westfall Abbey is definitely a good card. I don't think it's on par. In this deck, we just have so many mana sinks that we're not just going to sit back making tokens. So I think that Rabid Bite and the Kindred are actually better. I think I'm just going to take the Rabid Bite and hope to wheel the Kindred. There's a pretty good chance of it. There's some better red cards in the pack for someone who isn't red-green werewolves. And we did table a late Outcast. So I think there's a good chance that there's no one else that is red-green werewolves. We also saw a late Waxing Moon. So I think I can get both cards out of this pack a good percentage of the time. And we are lacking in removals, so Rabid Bite is really important. Though the Kindred is very, very good in this deck. Well, Ulvenwald Mysteries. This card is really insane. Red-green werewolf deck, not the greatest spot for it. Because our creatures tend to be bigger. They don't trade off as much. I still think you just have to take it. It's just so good in grindy games. But Howlpack Wolf probably isn't too far behind in this deck, which is how aggressive and large our creatures are. This is not the best Mysteries deck. I'm still going to take it. Hermit of the Natternals looks great here. We want just some cheaper werewolves so we can flip with Waxing Moon. Yeah, I mean, our curve is a bit, we got all these 2s, we got all these 5s, we're missing some of the cards in the middle. 3-drops aren't as important because we have the captives, but we still want to get some cheaper stuff, and Natternals is really nice. Okay, Byway Courier. Nothing else really close. Deck is really coming together. I could probably cut this Falconwrath Reaver, maybe the Thermo Alchemist. Here there's a Voldarin Duelist, Falconwrath Gorger, and Watcher in the Web. This is kind of an interesting pick. I could see all 3 of these being the correct pick. So Watcher, we have a bunch of 5-drops, but in the right matchup against the Blue-White Flyers deck, it's going to be a good sideboard card. And sometimes you want to just take good sideboard cards over cards that are decent but might not make the cut. That said, we've got 17 playables. I think we could actually use some more playables. We could put the Grapple in or the 2/2, but I think we want more playables. So Gorger, just a 2/1 for 1, is good with the Ulvenwald Mysteries and can just help us get attacking sooner. And then Duelist with the captives. 4-drops aren't that bad. I think I'm going to go with the Gorger. Here we have Vessel, Intrepid Provisioner, or Explosive Apparatus. So I don't think we have any Delirium. So the Vessel is not very good. The Provisioner pumps up humans. Probably don't have too many humans. We have a couple. This is not a human. So Courier Hermit. So yeah, Provisioner's not great. Apparatus, maybe. Yeah, Vessel is just kind of expensive for a decent cycle, but I guess we'll take Apparatus, just a sideboard card in some matchups. Magmatic Chasm. Not going to play Autumnal Gloom. This will take Chasm. Well, starting to get cut here. So Grapple's probably in. Maybe the Reaver. I'll just take some cards just in case. Okay, good. We got the Kindred back. That's really, really nice. It did seem like there were some red cards that people took over it. At least Incorrigible Youths and Reduced Ashes. So there's a good chance if the card came back. But that really, really helps this deck. So we're at 22 with Apparatus, which I'd like to not play. Could play a Swift Spinner. It's our one reach creature. None of these are very good. Could maybe go 18 lands, because we really want to get up to 7. The Captives give us extra mana, but going to 18 allows us to flip the Captives. But probably 17 would be enough. It's just whether something like Swift Spinner would be worth it for our 23rd card, because we're getting kind of short here. I mean, we're already running Explosive Apparatus, which is pretty weak. Builder. Got to run both Waxing Moons, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, I don't even like the second Waxing Moon that much. Scavenger. Yeah, I ended up a bit short on playables this draft. I mean, I spent a few picks on black cards early, but still kind of surprised that we ended up so short. I mean, every pack was pretty good for us. Just things were kind of shallow. So I guess Swift Spinner might be on Reasons okay. Yeah, I am kind of worried about that second Waxing Moon. Having 7 cards to flip with only 6 of them being the good ones. I think I want to cut that and just put Might Be on Reason. So it's more flexible. It's a combat trick that can target any creature, not just the ones that can flip. And we do have a Grapple, so there's some chance we get Delirium and pump this up to 3. And we also, other than the Waxing Moon, we don't have combat tricks. So yeah, and I think this deck, it still has a very high power level. Or at least a high power level. So I'd like to reduce the chance that we just end up with a bunch of dead cards. Rather than going for the higher risk, higher reward play of running both Waxing Moons for the potential of like turn 3 flip Captive. So let's do this. Could also run the 18th land over Spinner, Might, or Apparatus. I think that's reasonable. But we'll try this. We're a little short on removal, so I do like the Apparatus. And yeah, let's go. This is too much because we got the Villain Pack Outcast that wants some red mana. We also have a 1-drop in the Gorger. But we do have a lot of double green. On the other hand, the Captive helps us with the double green. So I think we want to go like 10-7 or 9-8. I think it's going to be 9-8. I mean, we do have a 1-drop in red. We have 2 2-drops in red. So we definitely want 8 red sources. And we'll rely on the Captives to give us our double green. Okay, so we'll submit. And I'll see you guys for round 1. Okay, ready for round 1. Let's play first. And we'll keep this hand. Wow. We got a 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 curve out. That's kind of exciting. Don't get to do that in limited too often. Alright, let's see if this is good enough. So I just started using the F8 key. It was recommended to me. So what it does is it passes priority whenever you couldn't actually have a spell or an ability. So that's mostly when you're tapped out. So right here, I'm going to play a land, tap it, play Gorger. I hit F8, and it works for the rest of the game. So you hit it once during the game, and it's always going to pass priority. and then it's just going to skip through my turn. So it's going to go to attacks, skip through my turn. It's going to skip through my opponent's whole turn, and then come back to me. Now, I've been used to doing things the way that I do them, using F6, F2, clicking with the mouse for a very long time. So I thought it might take some time to get used to. I thought maybe it wouldn't even be worth it to switch over to using F8, but really it only took a couple days, and I think I only made one mistake. And since then, it's just been easier. So it just saves a lot of time, just a lot of clicks, on your opponent's turn or on your turn, that it avoids you having to do. Maybe in Type 1, Vintage, there might be some spots where it's not good to use. But for drafting, I would recommend that everyone give it a try and try to adapt to it, because I think it's going to be beneficial for me, and reducing the amount of time I have to use in my games, saving clock, giving me more time to make decisions, and less often actually timing out. So see right there, I just cast the Reaver and immediately passed priority and just went to opponent's turn. Don't have to make any clicks. So then I have the decision of Brazen Wolves or Hermit. The Wolves probably get in more damage. The Hermit is kind of interesting. If opponent just passes, it's going to flip, which is good. And then if opponent tries to play a spell my turn, like if they're just holding a bounce spell, that would be good. But I'm just going to go for the Wolves, just get more damage in. Actually, going for Hermit, I could have just waited and then Swift Spinnered on their turn. That would have been kind of cool. But we could do that next turn. So let's send everything. I mean, either way, we're getting more damage this way. So it might actually be better. Let's get the Hermit down. Yeah, this was just the perfect draw. Opponents just didn't have time to get their bearings. That's a little awkward. I mean, I'll trade the Wolves off. So I can't Rabid Bite until I attack. I mean, attacking with everything, they go to 2, which is cool, but I think just trade Wolves off is fine. We're going to let the Hermit flip, and then Swift Spinner EOT, then we get to Rabid Bite. Not entirely sure if that's worth it. I mean, if they play a large creature here, this is a bit worse. The Spontaneous Mutation, that might have really wrecked me if I went for the all-on attack. So they go for a Swift Spinner. So do we. Well, Brick in there sucks. I think we do attack with both and go for Rabid Bite post-combat. Stops them from emerging and clears the way to keep attacking. I mean, most of the big creatures in green-blue are emerged creatures, so it's unlikely they're going to play a creature bigger then 2/3 on their turn. Like there's not a bunch of 5 drops. It's mostly like the curve ends at 3 or 4, and then they go to emerge creatures, and I just concede. So perhaps I strand them with emerge cards in hand. So yeah, they're green blue. Just haven't seen that much from them. Mutation. Maybe they have a little bit of self mill. I mean, Chasm could be good. They could have bounce spells. Might's probably okay. I'm just gonna run it back. Okay, got a nice Gorger into 2-drop start again. Hit the F8. And a Quilled Wolf. So let's try to trade the Gorger in for the more powerful creature. And play the Alchemist. Yeah, it's captive. So with F8 on, I've got the Alchemist up, so that means I can still, like, it's not going to pass through my turn. Go for Kindred. Oh, nothing from them. That's good. I mean, they might have a Swift Spinner, but they didn't play it. That was an unfortunate miss there. Like, we can't Indestructible if they had a Swift Spinner. They don't, so let's go for Apparatus. We could have resolved Blood Mist there if we drew a land. But instead just gotta wait. I mean, they gotta have something in their hand, like some 6-drops. Yeah, like that. Come on, land. Yes. Alright. I think we just go for Blood Mist. Go for the trade. Just for, like, for tempo, I think. Like, they do get to draw a card off this, but... And, like, on future turns we could double strike, so I'm not saying this is necessarily correct, but I think I like it. Just forcing this off the table. It stops them from using stuff like Rabid Bite, Prey Upon, or drawing cards off future 4-toughness creatures, so I like just putting the pressure on. And them going to 8 is pretty tough, because they got Alchemist out, so they do block here. They just pass. Okay. Let's go big, go for the Outcast. Okay, just the wind. Now I can start hard casting their merged creatures like Lurker, get the Horde Swarm. There's a Waxing Moon. Probably still just go Outcast. Just get so much damage in if they don't have an answer. Okay, just take the Horde Swarm. They attack with everything. I think I would just take it. So they got a ton of mana up. We draw a mountain. Could be like a Drowner Behemoth. Could just be some bounce spell. Jace's Scrutiny. I mean, they're definitely flooding, but we don't know about the 3 cards left in their hand. I guess we just send an Outcast. See what happens. I mean, if they just take it, I guess we just let them take 8. Okay, Herald to tap it. Okay, we'll let that happen, then we'll go for Somberworld Stag hitting the Herald. So now we could trade that for the Horde Swarm and still have a creature to Blood Mist. Yeah, very happy to make that trade. Okay, another Horde Swarm. So we knock opponent to 10. They have 1 card in hand. So it could definitely be Sensory Deprivation. So gotta be careful if go for like a Rabbit Bite. Yeah, let's just go for the Outcast attack. Going for Bite first would be too risky. I suppose it's kind of unlikely that it's sensory deprivation, because it feels like they just drew the Horde Swarm last turn. Like they went for Herald, then they went for Swarm. Okay, they're blocking like that. Seems pretty safe to like pump twice. So sensory depth, there's 5 in the yard, so go to -1. But if we just keep pumping it, I think it's gonna be safe. Like it won't die, right? Also, we could pump it and like we could just Waxing Moon it. This goes up to 5/7 and then just pump it 3 times. Well, okay, so that's 5. That's 8. That's also lethal if they don't have it. So that seems like a pretty clear play. Whoops. Okay. And that's lethal. So Falconwrath Gorger I think helped out a lot there, but yeah, opponent just got pretty like they lacked the early emerge enablers like Exultant Cultist, and so they just got stuck with the big emerge cards in hand. That's probably what happened in the first game too, when they conceded on 5 mana. They probably had stuff like the Horde Swarm in their hand. But yeah, our deck performed really well. Blood Mist, just put so much pressure on the opponent. I mean, we're already going to be in a pretty good spot there with our big creatures, but it just really ramps it up. The pressure that the opponent just eventually runs out of answers. They bounce once, they tap down once, they try to chump, that just wasn't even enough. So, yep, let's get on to round 2. Okay, ready for round 2. Play first, Mola no lander. Yeah, this is what I'm saying about, like, we almost had another Waxing Moon over that might be on Reason. This hand would be way worse. As is, I think it's keepable. We've got 4 werewolves we could draw that are 3 or less mana. We do get to scry. We do get to start with the 1-drop, then maybe pump it up. Let's bottom that. Hoping to find a captive for turn 2 if possible. And then hit it F8. And we're good for the rest of the game. Okay. 1 turn late. You could try to set up the Waxing Moon, going for Gorger attack there. So Forge Master. We'll go for, well, Tangle Claw can be pretty nice with Waxing Moon. Play that pass. Dawn Griff. If I draw a land here, this could be really, really good. Okay, did not draw land. Let's... So it must be block available, can't block. The problem is I could just double block and trade with it if I just Waxing Moon, so that's out of the picture. On the other hand, just attacking with it is fine, because, I mean, if they just block with Fox and Forge Master, then I trade with both, that's totally fine. And they're more likely to make a block where Waxing Moon blows them out. Now, given that they didn't block, should I just go for it? It's pretty bad if they have a removal spell on their turn, but could also just use it on the captive. I think I'd go for it. It's worse against like an Angelic Purge, but I'm getting in 2 extra damage. 2 damage could matter. I suppose 2 damage probably doesn't matter given this board state, and it would be worth it just to sit back. So I don't know, but I do think we probably want to just cast it there. Okay, Faith Bear Paladin. There's the land. Okay, so attack with Entangler. Opponent has to chump. Probably gonna put a bunch of creatures on. Maybe just all of them. No. That's really good. That's probably game. Play the land. If we draw a land, we can flip a captive and attack with the next turn. Ah, choke and restraints. Must have been off the top. but we're still looking pretty good. So no land. The Forge Master flips if we flip. Or we could go for Courier. I will just pass. Yeah, I did forget about Choking Restraints. That's another card, in addition to Purge. And it's a much more likely one. Because there's 2 packs. So that's the one I should have been playing around. And yeah, probably should just hold the Waxing Moon. Okay. Well, this game turns south really quickly. I don't think I can beat a Bruna. I need like Blood Mist and Villain Pack Outcast really quickly. Oops. I was not attacking anyway. Well, that's pretty rough. Mysteries. So attack with a bunch of stuff. Maybe we should just keep back the Abomination. We can just put Bruna on it. Oh, it didn't leave enough red there. So let it die. Get to draw some cards. Maybe could hit a Rabid Bite. Like land plus Rabid Bite. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. I don't know if... No, I can't do that. I would need more mana. Yeah, so it's a good attack. Oh, there's the Rabid Bite. So we have to just throw stuff in the way. Probably just 2 tokens. We have enough. We have 1 clue left. It's probably enough. Yeah, okay. Alright, it's game 2. Yeah, Bruna. Pretty insane card. Waxing Moon. Don't want the second one since they have Choking Restraints. Apparatus is fine, could kill a flyer. Swift Spinner is good against their 2/2 flyer. So let's run it back. Okay, this hand's really nice. Tangle Claw. Use up the mana the best. Lone Rider. Explosive Apparatus. Would rather use that than Bite. Let's do that. So they have to tap the Lone Rider in response with Gossamonger if they want to flip, and that lets us get in for 2 with the Tangle Claw. Scarecrow. So I went away from flipping this, which would be great. So we can just go Mysteries plus Hermit. A little tempted to go for a double block. Get blown out by Borrowed Hostility. I mean, how badly, though? They'd have to give first strike. So 5-3. They just kill one of our guys. I mean, I don't want this to die, but if it does, it's not the worst. And I do get to draw a card and get a 1-1 off of it. So I think I do double block. This forces them to use up their turn. Borrowed Grace. Okay. Oh, Stag. That's a pretty sick draw. Faith Unbroken. Oh, that's a beating. Jeez. Okay, and we can definitely chump for a bit. So, sack a clue, get a 1-1. Reaver, attack for 2. Oh no. Blessed Alliance? Puncturing Light. Okay. Get another clue. Mysteries is so broken. Let's block with Reaver. Die to Rush, but it's pretty unlikely. But I'd like to get more clues out right now. As long as I have no clues out, I'd like to get my first one. Okay, Faith Bearer. I have 1 card in hand. Hopefully it's not Bruna. So can pass, flip, captive, sack a clue. I guess I just flip captive now. Protect against like a galvanic bombardment. Oh, no attack. I mean, I guess I could, yeah, I guess I have nothing. If I double blocked, it would take out their whole board. So that's a great sign. Though I guess they could still have Bruna. Could kill Paladin. Guess I could attack with Abomination, but they just take it. So Bruna is just so hard for me to kill if they actually have Bruna. I might just need to pretend they don't. I'm just going to pass for a bit. Other than the Bruna, yeah, our long game should beat theirs since we have mysteries. Okay, Selfless Spirit. Got to burn the Rabid Bite on that. They have one card in hand. They have 7 lands, but they have the Scarecrow out, so they could still just have Bruna as their last card. True Faith Censor. That probably doesn't change anything. Oh, Grapple's nice. There's an Outcast. That's probably what we're looking for. So I'll play land. Fiend Binder. It's not necessarily the worst thing. Ooh, another Outcast. So, how bad can I get this? This takes 2 red, 1, 2, then I have enough green. It's 5, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can make this 9 damage. I mean, trade with Faithbearer and Fiend Binder, and then draw a card, get a 1/1. Seems good enough. That's worrisome. Transform. Plus Alliance, jeez. Alright. That's brutal. Let's draw a card at least. Okay, sensor on binder. Do they have a good attack here? I mean, barring a pump spell that they might have drawn. Sure. Yeah, try to take this out. And just one on each. I don't really know I can play around tricks here. I mean, it could also just be a Bruna. So stag. I feel like I want to kill the Faith Bearer. So I have a decent number of 1/1s in play. Could be wrong. This just makes it a 5/5 Vigilance Lifelink. It is kind of annoying. So Outcast costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 1. I have 5, 7 left over. So actually the binder should be fine. If I just go for Outcast. Let's make 3 clue tokens here. I pass. Just go for Outcast. Well, looks like Bruna. No. Guess not. He's just Outrider. See what they get. Get Staff Arsonist. Okay. Pretty good value from one draw. I feel like flipping this to just get the most value on my next attack. But maybe drawing cards is better. Yeah, let's start with drawing some cards. See what we get. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll just draw a bunch of cards. So they can't kill the Outcast. So let's try to get a bunch of damage in. Oh no, they can kill it. My bad. Somehow I counted the toughness plus the power of this creature. Yeah, they can kill it. But we'll draw a card. Just need to do 7. So just pump 3. So we have 9 mana here. So captive. 7, 9. I was thinking so we could maybe flip this. Or okay, so yeah, we'll go for captive, just pass. So, and a turn Swift Spinner. Arsonist. And equip. So it's a 7/5. We have 9 cards, 8 cards on our deck after this straw. Okay, so let's go. Let's transform this. Let's attack with everything. And then we'll just finish off with Stag. We get to draw 2 cards, and we're going low in our deck, but we now have a pretty big advantage on board. We just gotta speed this up quickly. So that's great, having the block there. So we're killing anyway. Another clue token we can sack, so this should be game. Even if they have Bruna, I think we're good. I guess they get to lifelink, so maybe not. Alright. 8 minutes left on clock. We saw some artifacts. Blessed Alliance, Puncturing Light, Borrowed Grace. Some pretty good tricks. Selfless Spirit. The Explosive Apparatus seems good. We'll keep that in. Yeah, Waxing Moon is a little more sketchy with, like, sometimes Puncturing Light can really hurt it. So I don't want another one. Magmatic Chasm is interesting, but I think we're kind of the control deck, so I don't know if a card that doesn't affect the board is going to be a good idea. Swift Spinner is pretty good. Yeah, we'll go with the rest. Our pump spells are a little weak. Okay, good opener. Go for the F8. Could also hold on to Apparatus for a bit, just to not show that we have it. Okay, Dawngriff. It's better to just go for Courier here. Just gets more damage in, most likely. And Apparatus could also hit something like a... Well, I guess they could have like a Faith Unbroken, but... if they have like Fiendbinder, we'd rather hit that with Apparatus. Okay. Oh, Blood Mist. If they have Faith Unbroken, it really sucks, but... Getting Blood Mist out is so good. Nah, let's just kill it. Like, my hand is really powerful, so if I go for the Blood Mist, I'm racing quickly, but I think going for a little bit slower and just making sure I take less damage is better. Land? No. It's unfortunate, because they could have multiple spells that wreck me on this attack. Like Blessed Alliance or Puncturing Light. I mean, I'm not wrecked by them, because I do get to draw a card eventually, but it's just unfortunate. Like, drawing a land there would be so much better. Because I can't even use this clue if I want to go for Outcast. Yeah, Mountain... Things are starting to look a little bit iffy. They just passes. It's really great. Oops. Skipped. Well, let's draw a card. Wait, no. Let's wait. So, yeah, let's just play Captive, pass. Then we can either go for Waxing Moon or sack a clue. It's probably Waxing Moon. We can deal a ton of damage. That's a lot. That actually is lethal if they don't block. I have to go for it now. Because otherwise I don't have enough mana. That's probably game. They could very well chump here, because it's pretty scary. Like, any +2/+2 kills them. Okay. But on the other hand, I do have Outcast now, so they're kind of just falling further behind. So 3 cards up. I'm trying to think of what they could have here. I mean, repel that fog card. It's not usually run, but like repel the Indomitable or something. Repel the Abominable. But they are pretty heavy humans, so I could maybe see it. But there's the Blessed Alliance. Well, alright, we're just going to see what they have. Okay, 3 card types. Sacrifice an attacking creature. And then I think I just have enough. Yep, should do it. Alright, it's a close match. Got crushed by Bruna in the first game. What do they have in their hand? Bruna, Subjugator. Well, they just drew some cards. But, yeah, Subjugator in game 2 at any point would have just killed us when we had the mysteries out. And it survived the night. It's another trick. Yeah, cool. So yeah, we're in finals, so see you there. Okay, ready for finals. So we'll play first. And keep this. Might just go for a blind grapple if we can't find a creature. Because we got a nice start, but we need something to ramp into. Take inventory. Apparatus, yeah, let's just grapple. Okay. Go for Outcast. Drop Apparatus. Tattered Haunter. Oh, Stag. That's a good one. Oh. Okay. Essence Flux. That's still totally fine. Apparatus just takes out the Haunter now. Should have a counter though. Because I know we have Outcast. Might just play around it. Let's go their upkeep apparatus, the Haunter. Rattle chains? Wow. And then they could still have a counter for the Outcast. Well, guess I'm outthinking myself here. Oh, there's the red. Didn't expect rattle chains, you never do. So they chose not to play at EOT. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. There's a Herald. Okay, good news is we got Outcast into Rabid Bite. So chains is you may cast spirit spells as though they had flash. I mean, that's a pretty big problem. Probably have to kill the Herald. Or the rattle chains, maybe. I mean, it depends on if opponent has other flash spirits already. The Haunter deals most damage, but just all their spirits get to come in and tap something. I feel like we have to mess that up somehow. Probably just the Herald. Inner Struggle. They don't have anything else, though. I mean, we're attacking for half their life total. We lose to Uncaged Fury. I guess we also lose to any creature or removal spell because of their clock. Maybe killing the Haunter would have been correct. Did reduce their clock by a bunch. Looks like they have something, otherwise they would have left chains back, so... Whoa, engulf the shore. Huh. That's really good for us. Wow. So we just get to replay the stag. That was a huge mistake from an opponent. Yeah, I don't think they thought that through. It's also an instant, but I mean, I guess they had nothing else. That kind of makes sense. So I think I go for Wolves. Could also play Captive because we could potentially could flip it, but Wolves gives us a better next turn is gonna be better. Still not over, because we know they have rattle chains. We're at 4, so that almost kills us. If they have chump block plus rattle chains plus pump spell, we're dead. Okay, imprisoned by the moon and rattle chains. That's a problem. Good news is now we beat one chump blocker. So really glad. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If we draw a land, it wouldn't matter. But if we don't draw a land, it's a lot better. We went for the Wolves first. Okay, Alchemist. Alchemist shouldn't really change anything. Here, I kind of just want to flip the Captive. Otherwise, Galvanic Bombardment plus a creature might beat us. Like, we could go for Alchemist, but currently doesn't change the clock. Okay, no attack. That's a great sign. Yep, let's hope that they're double chumping. Or, I mean, trading and chumping. So had we gone for Alchemist first, we might have some trouble with Galvanic Bombardment there, but opponent would be at 3, going on 2. Ooh, shreds for take inventory and engulf the shores. Stirring a land. Okay, so they get to. Oh, they can't take inventory and shores, so they got a shores. Then I get to play my hand. Then they take inventory. So it could be worse. Okay, Blood Mist doesn't do anything. Might as well play it. There's the take inventory. So we've seen 3 fresh cards this turn. There's an Alchemist that's got a chump. Well, I have something else. Tattered Haunter. Okay. We brick, so still pretty scary. That brick is pretty painful. So now, if opponent draws a chump blocker, we might just die. We would have to top deck something else. Yep. I mean, they can draw a chump blocker, they could draw a burn spell, a pump spell, a lot of stuff that could kill us. Drag under, that's not good. So now we need, like, Swift Spinner. Whoa, emerging. Oh, for Vexing Scuttler? Okay, for Wretched Griff. Alright. Not a lot of outs for us. No. Dang. Rough game. I mean, a lot of little decisions could have swung it differently. I mean, it was super weird they had Essence Flux. I don't know that I should have played around that, but looks like they never had a counter, so I could have just dropped Outcast on turn 5, and they didn't have an answer to it. I think maybe they had the inner struggle then. But let's get on the next game. Let's have a lot of flyers. We don't really have anything we can put in. Another Waxing Moon, but they have Drag Under. Just a 2/3. Nope. Let's run it back. Let's have Engulf the Shores. Alright, good start. Swift Spinner is an all-star in this matchup, too. A lot of 2-1 flyers. Let's go Wolves. Gets the most damage in. Hermit's good against Herald. Okay, Tattered Haunter. We'll go for Hermit now. Given that we're stuck on 2 lands, really hope they don't have Engulf the Shores. That would put us back pretty far. They need 3rd island. Essence Flux. Huh. Okay, to get us to not flip the Hermit. That makes sense. Guess we just go for Reaver. And it could have a Rattle Chains. Don't want to go for Rabid Bite, and obviously I don't really care about the Haunter, unless if they go for Engulf the Shores, then maybe it would have been worth it to kill it. Okay, Alchemist, not a problem. Okay, so smash with everything. I think I just hold back Swift Spinner. So now even Engulf the Shores isn't that bad. If they do it on their turn, I can just float mana and play Swift Spinner afterwards, and that's lethal with... well, I guess I need one more land for Might Be On Reason. Okay. And then if they wait to our turn, we would draw 2 cards off the Natternals. Alright, game 3. Don't think we're changing anything. Well, potentially a very good start, though not sure if Waxing Moon on a Captive is a great play against them. Probably just want to develop our mana as quickly as possible. Because they have stuff like Drag Under. Could they have a counter here? Counter would be such a blowout, but I think I'd go for play with a Captive. I could just go Captive Alchemist, but I think I'd go for Waxing Moon. Because they're going to attack. Chilling Grasp. Huh. That's a pain. Do I go for Waxing Moon? I think so. When they untap, it'll give me a little extra mana. Okay, taking a lot of damage though. Okay, so we can go for Alchemist or Alchemist Apparatus or just Apparatus. With Apparatus, it might stop them from pumping as long as they don't have another spell, like an instant spell, but they probably don't. I think that's probably better than Alchemist. Like, we just don't want to die. I guess on the other hand, these are untapping next turn. I'll just go with Alchemist. Like, we're not taking too much damage, even if they just want to pump this turn. Also, yeah, going for the Waxing Moon does protect against Engulf the Shores. I believe it's like toughness. Stitchwing Scob. That means we can go for a Somber World Stag. It's a pretty big play here. Could actually just take out everything. I probably want to do that. Just slow the game down a little bit. And now it's not even that bad if they go for Engulf the Shores, because I get the Stag back. I guess if they go Island, they can bounce everything, including my Abomination, and get back Scob, but they're going to have no cards in hand. Alright, that's what they got. Still, though, like, Stag killing their Scob is still a pretty nice play, if that's what they're doing. They should wait, though. Yeah, because I was just going to kill it. Alright, how do we want to build up? Could just go for Outcast. Or Captive plus Courier. That's a close call. If they bring back Scob, they're going to have no cards in hand, so they probably won't have a bounce spell for Outcast. And Captive opens up a little of our mana. But Outcast does a little more damage next turn. I'm going to go with Outcast. Like, if we don't draw land, there's no guarantee that Captive is actually going to change our play for the next turn. So this opponent just passes. So I guess they like their hand. Okay, Inner Struggle. Pass, so this turn I think we just dump everything. Or, you know, dump all the 2-drops. Let's get as much stuff on the board as possible. And then start flipping captives. Whoa. Okay, Wretched Griff, hard cast. So we'll use Stag to kill it. And then we can still play Courier on our turn. Outcast. Just want to play the control game here. I mean, look at how much power we're going to have eventually between Outcasts and the 2 captives. So just want to make sure we don't die too quickly. Fortune's Favor. Interesting. Oh my god. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, first thought is like we don't want to give him docent. I mean, this is pretty insane. We don't care about the turn aside too much. Could do like docent versus. I mean, we might be able to beat a docent. Wait, this is main phase. So in our turn, they go to 18, they go to 17, they go to 14. We play outcast. Like we can probably beat a docent. And could just be the two flyers versus two cards. Just trying to think how we can get them to actually mess up. I don't want them to get docent and the flyers. I think I want to just prevent that. So it's either just docent verse or Haunter Herald verse. I think I'm gonna do docent verse. Might be. I mean, that sounds crazy, but like that might be too obvious. And then if like docent's really good for them, they'll take it, and if it's not, they'll just go for the 3 maybe. These flyers are kind of rough. I think I'm gonna go Herald Haunter versus. Alright, so they took the docent and they got the turn aside. So we're not going to be targeting their guys for the rest of the game. So the question is, do we just flip an outcast, or a captive, or do we go for outcast? Flipping captive is pretty nice, though if they have a spell, they might get a chump block for it next turn, but then we just flip another captive. I feel like just flipping captives is probably better. Gets an immediate 4 damage, which I like. They also have shreds in their deck. Shreds would be pretty brutal. I guess, yeah, I get back take inventory plus something. Oh, they have it. Wow. So I get to bounce everything and then play docent. I mean, I still might be fine. Although then they have docent plus take inventory, so they immediately get to make a 1/1 off of it. Wait, what does docent do again? When you have... You control 3 or more wizards. Okay. Alright, so we ping. This will go to hand. They have a turn aside. Unfortunately. I mean, I could have gone, docent first. They might not have a turn aside. That could suck. Just like captive outcast. Outcast because it gets past the wizard tokens of a take inventory. Is Scob a wizard? No. It's a horror. Oof, Prison in the Moon? But no docent? And no take inventory. Huh. I guess it's like a counter of some sort. They wouldn't have another Engulf the Shores. Start with Wolves. Wolves is pretty good here. Courier does get blocked by Docent. We could go Courier and Captive. We probably want to flip the Captive next turn. So that's 3, 6, 9 mana. So it's enough to flip Captive. We need the Captive out as well if we want a Rabid Bite potentially. We're probably not gonna have enough mana. Maybe we could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, if they 1, 2, 4, 5. So if they don't have a land, that could work. But they're probably gonna have a land for the turn aside. Still, let's just get Captive and Alchemist out. Let's go for Alchemist. If they have Convolute, like, I think that's the one we want. Rattle Chains. Okay. It's not a wizard. There's Docent. Take inventory. Okay, leaving it turn aside. It's gonna be close. Okay, Gorger. Seven. So we transform. And attack with both of these. I mean, depending on what they have, I think we're slightly in the lead, actually. So we're going to go to 5, they're going to go to 4, then we have 2 lethal creatures. Okay, another take inventory. That's pretty bad. That's not what we wanted to see. Yeah, drag under would be pretty brutal. So we know they just had to turn aside as of last turn. Attack for 5. Yeah, we're gonna die if we can't kill them. But we could be able to. If they don't have anything, I think we do just win. I mean, they probably have something. Like a Herald that would kill us. Oh, Swift Spinner. Might change things. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Four, 3. That is very interesting. Oh, they have a Herald in the graveyard, so they probably don't have Herald. But the Swift Spinner could be huge. So if we attack 1, 2, 6, 9. Could just go for the Swift Spinner, might be enough. Rather than attack with Flip Captive attack. mean, we lose to some kind of instant speed removal or counter on next turn, so we give opponent a little bit of time to draw something. Or if they just have a convolute, we beat it if we attack all in, but I don't know, I feel like we just get so much value from that attack, or from the Swift Spinner. And we also get to throw Courier in play, so we're going to have a ton of damage for next turn if we go for that. Okay, get Scab back. They discarded 2 lands, have 1 card. This puts them to 2, this puts them to 1, then Rabid Bite is lethal. So I think I just play around Convolute at this point. Block Docent. Prevent the most damage. Well, it's looking good. Alright. That's the tournament. Wow, that was a sick last match. Their deck was really cool. Like, I'm usually not a fan of Take Inventory, but if you got Docent, Engulf the Shores, Shreds, that seemed pretty good. Wow, that was tense. There's a lot of decisions there. I mean, you know, maybe just Docent versus would have been correct. That'd be really interesting to think about, rather than giving Docent plus Turn-Aside. The issue, the reason why I didn't really worry about the Turn-Aside is because we just have 1 Rabid Bite in the deck. That's like the only, I think that's about the only card that targets. So I was figuring that the Turn-Aside was basically a wash. It gave them 1 more card in hand to use for their Scab. But I was thinking, if we just show Docent versus 3 cards, that they get to decide, okay, is Docent going to win me the game? If not, I'll take the other 3 cards. And it might have been worse to actually give them the Spirits and the Turn-Aside. It's hard to say. Fortune's Favor, really, really interesting card. And I feel like a lot of times I end up making a pile that's not optimal. But I do want to make sure that I don't give the opponent the option to take a pile that just beats me. Like, if they can 100% take a pile and know that it beats me, I want to prevent that. So that's why I don't just go like, okay, you know, show them Docent plus something, and it's like, well, Docent will always win for them, so they can just take the Docent. I want them to at least make a decision, knowing that at least some percentage of the time they're going to make the wrong one. So yeah, that was it. Red-Green Werewolves had some pretty close matches there. Waxing Moon was decent. But I always sort of felt like siding it out. So still a little underwhelmed by the card. But hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Just throw a plug in. I am doing one-on-one coaching via Skype. Just, you know, more specific to the students' needs type of coaching than I do with these videos. So if you're interested in that, check out. You can check out my Twitter or Twitch page. Just send me a message there. I can give you some more information. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.